This NBA Finals is going to be a movie. All right, NBA Finals is here. The Knicks and Spurs meeting in the finals. The Knicks are coming off a historic run through the Eastern Conference, ranking amongst the top runs of all time. I've seen some numbers out there, and they're on quite a historic run, which could be an indication on how good they are as a team or an indictment on how weak the Eastern Conference is. You got Jalen Brunson, big body Brunson, with a chance to solidify himself as the greatest Knick of all time and bring a championship to the Big Apple for the first time since the 70s, since Walt Frazier and Earl the Pearl Monroe, and I don't even know, it was Bernard King on that team. You know, you got the Spurs with the once in a lifetime Victor Wembanyama with a young core of great wings, great guards, as they look to start their dynasty. Funny thing about it is this storyline, it kind of plays out how the Spurs as the start of one dynasty and the last time one of them was good. So with the Spurs winning their first chip in 1999 with Tim Duncan, that was the start of their dynasty all through the early 2000s and early 10s when they won the championship. For the Knicks, this is their first time being good in my life. Like, this is the first time I've seen the Knicks good in my life. I mean, they had Carmelo Anthony, but they weren't good. But the storylines aren't going to play the games. The storylines are not going to play the games. It's going to be the players. Players got to get out there, strap them up, pull up the jock strap, and got to go out there and do what they got to do to win, to bring the chip home. So with that being said, let's start with the Knicks. On the Knicks side of things, we already know about Big Body Brunson. We know what he do. Mr. Reliable, he Mr. Get the Job Done, Mr. Consistent. He gonna win his matchup. I don't care who you throw at him, he gonna win his matchup. I seen some numbers out there earlier today talking about the amount of times he scored when Stephon Castle was on him. That was a regular season. It's crunch time now. We got a two-time national champ. We got a proven winner right now. Given Stephon Castle, he won a championship in college. Jalen Brunson's a proven winner. He's giving me no indication that he has any loser tendencies in him. He's giving me no indication that he hasn't watched any type of film and learned from those possessions where Stephon Castle got the best of him. He probably just missed shots. In his head, in Jalen Brunson's head, he just missed shots. He don't think Stephon Castle can really guard him. And that being said, I don't care what they throw at Jalen Brunson. If he gonna get his 25-26, if he get his 35-36, because Brunson goes crazy. He not just a 25-26 guy. He gets in the upper 30s, mid to upper 30s. If he gets there, it's scary. It's scary. He gonna wheel them to something. He gonna wheel them to something. And he got his running mate, his running back, Bodega Cat. Bodega, it's Cat, it's June. But yeah, we know Cat, he has the sassy label on him. But that don't mean that he don't show up. That don't mean that Cat gonna back down against Victor Wembanyama. Cat has, throughout his career, Cat pouts, he do the sassy voice, he changes voice. But he's giving me no indication that he's gonna back down from an opponent. He's gonna show up and play. For God's sake, he put Joel Embiid in the headlock. He ain't got no Chet Holmgren in him. Even though he might switch his hips a little bit, he ain't got no Chet Holmgren in him. He a dog. He a dog. And they've been running the offense through him that has shown to be successful, as Cat is a player who I feel any player needs to feel like they're involved, especially if you're as good as Cat. So with him touching the ball early and often, his confidence gets high. He knocks down the three. I believe he's gonna be ready to play. I believe Cat gonna be ready to play. There is one thing that scares me though. Sometimes Cat, he just lacks the awareness to know not to foul. Cat has a tendency to just foul sometimes for no reason and then be like, well, what did I do? What did I do? I didn't touch him. You flailed your arms and threw an elbow and pushed him. It's a foul. If Cat can be aggressive, knock down shots, be a facilitator. If he's a facilitator and is able to drag Wemby out of the paint and get other people cutting on back doors, allow people to attack off of closeouts, that may be a recipe for success. But if he has to come out often because he's in foul trouble or his minutes are shortened because of foul trouble, that could be a problem, because granted, Mitchell Robinson will come in, but they need that scoring. Mitchell Robinson isn't a scorer that Cat is, but he's a essential piece. He's an essential piece. But those cat minutes are important, and he needs to be on the court. So that's something to look out for. Saying all that, we know what the star players are gonna do. We expect the star players to show up. So if the star players don't show up, that's somebody easy to point the fingers at. But the three most impactful players in this series are going to be Mitchell Robinson, Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby. And here's why. Mitchell Robinson, for the simple fact that he has to win those 9 Cat minutes. Can he win those minutes when Cat is not in the game? Though his impact may not be as big on the scoring side of things, those extra opportunities that he presents on the offensive side with O boards. When he rolls hard and create advantages through that, and then slowing down Wemby. He's another big body that they can throw Wemby. And that's the thing where I think the Knicks have an advantage. Thunder, they did a great job at throwing bodies at Wemby, tiring him out, pushing him around. But they only had one big body. Well, they had two. They had Jalen Williams and they had Isaiah Hartenstein. I feel like it worked, but it worked at certain times, and I'll talk about that later. But I think that the Knicks have enough bodies to throw at Wemby and wear him down. That's something to look out for. That's something to look out for. Second on the list, Mikal Bridges. For the simple fact of, will he show up? And will he knock down big shots? Will he be an X factor on the defensive end? Will he go missing? I feel like sometimes he turns soft. I've seen too many times where, yeah, he might be knocking down shots, but there's an opportunity for him to attack the rim and he'll pull up or not even look at attacking, going up strong. There's something to look for, and it's something that I'm weary about. Will Mikal Bridges go missing? And last but not least, the player that's going to have the biggest impact throughout this series, and that's OG Anunoby. How will he look coming off of that hamstring injury? Has he had enough time to rehab? And if so, will his long frame be able to disrupt the young guards of the Spurs? Because I feel like the Spurs are going to lean on that 3-guard lineup quite often. Will he be able to be a pest, especially when the ball is in Stephon Castle's hands, as he's shown that he can be shaky with the ball? And offensively, is he going to knock down big shots, be able to create opportunities, or provide another scoring option for Jalen Brunson, where Brunson doesn't have to have the ball in his hands, be able to create his own scoring opportunities off the dribble, get paint touches, or even attract the defense in, or get kickouts for open teammates. So that's another thing. That's why if OG Anunoby, he shows up and he averages 18, 19 a game, plays pesky defense, wears them down, uses his long frame on the guards, I think the Knicks have a good chance. But at the same time, the Spurs have a really good chance because, of course, we know about Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama is a generational talent. He's game-changing. He's game-changing more defensively than he is offensively, and that's the beauty of his game. He can, if Wemby scores 13 or 14 points in a game, his defense is going to be so good that it may cancel out his lack of scoring on the offensive end. If Wemby is able to knock down open shots, get easy rolls to the rim, easy lobs, block shots that lead into transition, I feel like the Spurs will thrive. But if the Knicks are able to neutralize him, and if I was the Knicks, I would try to bait Wemby into ISOing. And when I say ISOing, allow him to try to post up, push him out. Wemby has a tendency to get pushed out very far. He'll start at the block but get pushed out to damn near by the 3-point line, and bait him to try to create something off the dribble. If he tries to create something off the dribble, that's where having those big bodies is going to be extremely useful, because you just got to bump him. If you just give him a little contact, he's going to flail all over the place and shoot an unbalanced shot. And his mid-post game, I'm not too confident in it. If he does mid-post and just shoot a midi, I'm not too confident in that as well. He hasn't shown me. He does some amazing things. Amazing things, but I'm not too much of a believer in his offensive game if it's not spoon-fed to him. He does some amazing things off the dribble sometimes where he goes behind the back between the leg cross, but you can't do that all game. I'm sorry. He can't do that all game at 7'6". I'm sorry. But most of his shots he's going to have to get off the catch, attacking the closeout, or rolling hard to the rim, or running in transition. Now, if he does all those things, the Spurs might win in 5. Also, I do think that Wemby can play a huge factor on the way that Jalen Brunson scores, because Jalen Brunson likes to use his body and get to that midi. But with Victor lurking there, that might deteriorate him from shooting it so much, and also may affect his percentages when he does shoot. Something that I will look at. Other than Wemby, the other two players who I feel are going to be huge in the outcome of this series is Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox. First of all, Stephon Castle, simply off the fact of, will he be able to take care of the ball? That's the main thing with him. If he's going to turn over the ball and give the Knicks extra possessions and allow them to get out in transition, gain momentum, make huge threes in the garden, it might be wraps. If the Knicks force him to shoot, the Knicks force him to prove to them that he can knock down open shots, and he doesn't, that also could be scary for the Spurs. That might not be too good for them. Will he mature on the fly? Will he stop turning over the ball? Will he have awareness, and will he knock down open shots? And De'Aaron Fox, lastly, because will he show up? This playoff run has not been a good one for De'Aaron Fox. He had a good game in Game 7. He knocked down some timely shots, some big shots. But will that carry over into the finals as it's his first time here? Will he turn back the clock to Sacramento De'Aaron Fox? Or is he who he is now? Is he a 17, 18 point per game player, or barely getting over 10 sometimes, not looking aggressive, not being able to get paint touches? We'll see. All that being said, you factor in all those factors, all those possibilities of what may happen throughout this series, and you take into account the Spurs youth, the Knicks chemistry that they have with the Nova boys, and the atmosphere of the Garden, I got the Knicks walking away with it in 7. And Brunson we trust. Salute.